Because we're not fucking human. Why don't you take a look at these rocks? Be awful to knock these rocks out. Break them all down into little pieces. Get them out of here and move a bunch of people in. I might just do that. Alright, so let's take a look at the cost of this. First of all, they had to make that sign there and buy that post there. Probably about $30 worth of materials. Although it's the state, it's probably about $1,000 worth of materials to them. Plus the cost, 2 laborers for 3 hours to put it in. They did not inform Dean. They knew that his vehicle was here and did not work. Now they claimed that they were offering to fix his vehicle. He said yes, didn't he? And what did they do? They weren't interested in it. They had already decided that they were going to tow it. They knew that he couldn't take care of himself. I mean, you guys got to hear the conversations between him and I when I was trying to tell him that they're going to tow his stuff. He was barely coherent about that. He did not understand the gravity of the situation. And they know he's out here. But the other thing is, those people from the... God, what are they called? I found a card for them over in the bushes. Let me see. Oh, is this it? No. Alright, I probably pulled it out and put it in my vehicle somewhere. It's that Center for Living place. It's something or other Center for Living. And Jesus, they're fucking useless. But they sent a lady out from there. That's their justification. It's magically legal if they have that lady out here. Oh, they're just assisting. They're just assisting. Well, look at that sign. All right, we're talking about probably, well, they're state workers, so it's going to cost about $70 an hour out of your taxes at least, between 70 and 120 per hour per employee. So we're talking about quite a bit of money there too. Well, then we got to talk about the fact that we had, what, 6, 7 officers out here this morning. We had Nebraska State Patrol, Oregon State Troopers, of course. And then we had Hood River Police Department. Oh, I found a quarter, yay. And then we had the Sheriff's Department here as well, didn't we? That's right, we did. The Sheriff's Department. What's the result? Well, now Dean is far worse off. You guys want to talk about how horrible all homeless people are. You know what? They just fucked him into complete and total homelessness. Now the weird stuff that you guys are afraid of, instead of having a place to do that weird stuff away from you guys, well, now he's stuck in public venting like that. You guys are just going to call the cops and call the cops and call the cops. And the cops here will do the same thing they do everywhere. They'll fucking take your money for stupid shit. Now, how long were them fellers out here this morning? What did they do? What about those 3 workers that towed that? And then, of course, there's the money that it takes to pay them. In addition to the sign, in addition to the cops, in addition to that lady there. I mean, we're probably talking around $5,000 so far just to fuck over Dean this morning. They're like, oh, well, we offered to tow it to a new location. Where's the new location, you fucking pieces of shit? You fucking fat-headed, goddamn porker bacon fucking slime. You fucking pieces of trash. You know, there's something that the SS used to do. You know what those guys are? They were some bad motherfuckers. The SS used to line people up on bridges, tie them all together, and shoot a few of them, and those ones that dragged the rest of them to their deaths. Conserving bullets. No, it wasn't just about conserving bullets. It was about making a point. Scaring the hell out of people. And that's what these police officers do. And they fucking lie to the public. And they know their little fucking sleight of hand, as Marcia Estrada calls it. They know the words to say if they wanted to fucking slam down Dean. And say, oh, stop resisting, stop resisting. You know what would fucking happen? And the only thing stopping them from doing something stupid like that is your goddamn cameras. Your willingness to be there and observe it, and to do so live, because if you don't do it live, they might slam your ass down. If you look like a spoiled rich kid who's filming it, they'll think twice about slamming you down. But if it's a homeless person, it better be live, and they better know that you're filming it live. And guess what? All three of those departments are already aware that I'm here. They're already aware that I exist, and they're already aware by their own admissions that I record live as often as I can. Now we also got to talk about the fact that these guys wanted to keep their vehicles running. I don't get that. Why did we have that entire parking lot? Well, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. I want to ask you something. What do these signs say? Customer parking only. Customer parking only. Customer parking only. Does that not say customer parking only? Others will be towed. River's Edge Towing. 1-888-580 tows. That sign right there, does it not say customer parking only? Others will be towed. River's Edge Towing. 1-888-580 tows. How about this sign right here, clearly marked, where everyone can see it? Not only that, but it is damn near perfect for somebody getting out of a vehicle to see it right in their face. Customer parking only. Others will be towed. River's Edge Towing. 1-888-580 tows. Were those cops customers? Did they park there? Yes, they did. Is that an acceptable use of your taxpayer dollars? Now you have created a situation where it is not only unsafe for Dean, it is also unsafe for anybody else who they can try to associate as homeless. Anything that people are afraid of Dean for, they can come take out on me. Just as anything they're afraid of me for, they can go and take out on Dean. Does that mean that Dean or I have ill intent towards anybody? No, it don't. Now, obviously, he's got a lot worse problems than I do right now. He's also got a lot of difficulty staying here with us in reality. We got some recordings with him. He's not somebody who's wanting to go out and slaughter millions of people and, start his own regime. The Holy Roman Empire is going to begin again and all that kind of stuff. He just been through a bit. So if he vents like he does up here, if he does that in town, if he goes and yells at a wall in town, it's not going to end up well for him. And I'm going to tell you something. Even if they do stick him in an institution like you guys want to stick him in, they're going to stick him in for a 72-hour hold, and then they're going to fucking drop him off again. They're not going to take him to a home. They're not going to take him to a facility where he'll be cared for. He will be dropped out right fucking there. They'll just drop him off. And then you say, oh, well, why aren't they doing anything? Well, because it makes them too much money doing it this way. Why aren't there battered women's shelters? Well, because we've got a bunch of goddamn douchebags that spend between what, $5,000 and $12,000. It's state money. They'll probably push it towards 12, and you fucking know it. So, between $5,000 and $12,000 today to fuck Dean, how much of that money would it have taken to put him on a piece of property? It wouldn't have taken shit. It wouldn't have. How difficult would it be? How cheap would it be for the state to designate an area where we can police ourselves? If they are necessary, that's okay. But we know these people in person. We interact with these people on a different level. We try to interact with each other as friends. I know Dean is nuttier than fucking squirrel turds. But you know what? So are you. Every fucking one of you. You're all nuttier than squirrel turds. With your Illuminati bullshit and your ancient aliens bullshit and your... Jesus, no, your motivations are simple. You have the same motivations as a rat or a dog or a cat or a chimpanzee. Your motivations are exactly the same. You just have a lot of words. A lot of excuses. That's all those words are. If we remove the vocal cords of every single human being on the planet, we might actually end up with a better world. Might. The problem is, with all of this crap being spent the way that it is, and, you know, I'm sure they had more than one meeting and discussion about what they're going to do to that poor guy before they went and did that. I mean, that right there, is there anybody that didn't see that as a setup? That is an obvious parking area. They obviously blocked it off so they could move Dean out of there. They obviously knew he was there. They obviously knew he was busted, you know, like busted down. And obviously they had not come and let him know. And obviously they had not come and offered to help him with his vehicle the way that they claimed that they had. When they said those things this morning, obviously, how are they going to fulfill that obligation? How are they going to fix his vehicle and get it actually going like that? How is that going to happen? Now, if we pressure them, maybe they will keep their fucking word. Maybe they will tow his Winnebago to some place where they will fix it. Maybe they will give it back to him. Maybe they will give him a place where he can park that thing. Because they're especially fucking good at this bullshit. They know he is incapable of providing those things for himself. They are 100% well aware that what they're offering is complete and total bullshit, and they never have any fucking intention of keeping their word. They already know he has nowhere to put it. Nowhere to put it. But just like Hood River, it's run by a bunch of rich old white guys. Now, who is this since I've been in Hood River who's been taking care of me? Is it a bunch of rich old white guys? No, it's not. It's Hispanic people. Is it the cops? No, it's fucking Hispanic people. The Center for Living don't do jack shit. They're supposed to have actual caseworkers out here, actual social workers. So you guys keep telling us about all these services that you know they're supposed to exist. You know what they're supposed to do. There's guys like me who we're not as at risk as someone like Dean. For me, it ain't about alien conspiracies. You believe whatever the fuck you want. I'll stick with science. But it's got to be real science. This American science just don't work for me. It's not science. The crap they put all over the news over a couple of college kids fucking around with chicken embryos, and all of a sudden we've got real science. No, that ain't it. Just like that bullshit this morning ain't police work. That is not real fucking police work. Absolutely not. Look how fucking bored these pigs are. Look how much money they just wasted of your tax dollars. A simple solution. All right? A simple solution would be a parking spot. Oh my God, how complicated is that? Where's this parking spot going to be? Are they going to pay to fix his Winnebago? Are they going to tow it to a location where he and his Winnebago will be safe? I mean, technically they didn't lie. They said they were going to move it to a new location. Fuck you. You fucking piece of shit. You fucking trash. This is still a fucking human being, you goddamn fucking trash monsters. I think every fucking one of you low-life fucking son of a bitches deserves to live in a fucking dumpster. I think every fucking one of you selfish, fucking stuck-up pieces of fucking shit should have to sleep out in the fucking snow. I think you should know what it's like to go without food for a fucking week. I think you should know what it's like to not have fucking air conditioning. I think you should actually fucking know this magic vacation that you pretend that we're all on. I think you should know what it's really like. Constant fear of shit like this. No matter how hard you work, it's gonna get took. These guys will waste your tax money to victimize the most victimized people in the fucking country, just like they did this morning, and you're not going to do anything about it. Now, I've been covering this situation with Dean for what? 2 months? Dean is not the crazy guy with the rocks. Dean wasn't at any point in time breaking anything ever. Around us, in front of us, behind us, within earshot. I mean, what do we have against Dean as a human being enough to do this to him? What kind of a horrible criminal could he possibly be to deserve this? Yes, he needs help, but this is not fucking help. The Center for Living for Surely is not fucking help. This shit is immoral as all hell. And anybody here in Hood River who wants to support it, they can come have words with me. We'll discuss it right here. I'll pull out my phone and we can discuss it as human beings. And we got the name of the tow truck company that was backed up into Grace Sue's China Gorge restaurant. We for surely know that that happened. We know that it happened right here in Hood River. There's the parking ride right there. Let me show you. That mountain there, that is in Washington State. The Columbia River is in between there and I. Right there is a sign that it's a parking ride. The no overnight parking sign was just the other side of Dean's Winnebago. They knew it was there. He knew it was there. The problem with Dean is that, well, he doesn't exactly have it all together, and he doesn't have any support. You guys think he'll be better off in a facility? Who is it that's been maintaining this parking lot? Well, let's take a look at that. Myself, Logan, Shayna. That sounds to me like 3 homeless people cleaning this thing up. I haven't seen Department of anything come here to clean up this parking lot since I got here. I have no idea who it is that is supposed to be cleaning it up, but it gets filthy. There ends up being beer cans all over the place. I didn't pick them up yesterday. It was too hot. I just left them there. I also don't have any more trash bags, and I don't know anywhere else I can take the trash. I mean, that one bag of trash can I was able to throw away. I got permission from the folks down there to do that, by the way. I didn't just do that out of nowhere. I got permission to throw away one bag of garbage. Now, obviously, that right there, that's a beer can. And as we all know, I don't drink. But because that beer can is by my vehicle, you never know what somebody will try to pull. We know that there's two more of them out in the parking lot that are squished. You also get to hear people just yesterday offering me beer. What do I say? No, I quit drinking 20 years ago. And guess what? It's because I quit drinking 20 years, well, over 20 years ago now. Anyway, I'm going to try to, because people in this town were kind to me yesterday, and it wasn't brown people. There was some white folks that were very pleasant as well. My question is, why does the color matter? Why should it matter? It's the ratio of fucking snootiness and fucking stuck-upness. Most Americans are fucking idiots. Most Americans are stupid. They're stupid. They're just not that bright. A lot of this comes down to not having any experience, but hearing lots of wide tales and stories and tall tales and embellishments, and of course, police bullshit like this morning. Dean is a human being to me. Rebecca Gross-Nickel Foley is a human being to me. And I'm going to tell you, between the two, yes, Rebecca does come across as crazy, just like Dean. The difference between the two of them, first of all, don't call Dean crazy. He doesn't like it. But Rebecca's situation, it's due to long-term abuse. She's got every right to be afraid. When she tries to come forward about her abuse, she gets treated like she's Dean. Or somebody like Dean. And meanwhile, it's not even okay to treat Dean like that, just so you fucking know. Those of you who don't have an actual moral compass and you have to depend on other people to tell you what to fucking think, yeah, what they did to Dean was wrong. Of course, it's going to be wrong to do it to someone like Rebecca or to someone like me. It is absolutely wrong to do that to Dean. They played word games. They played fucking head games. They knew he was not capable of doing that for himself, so they play on that. To pretend, oh, they was just doing, no, the fuck they weren't. They were trying to please a bunch of fucking spoiled, stuck-up cunt rags who ain't never had to fucking go a day without food in their fucking life. There's another one of them. Make sure we let the whole world know they fucking exist. This is the United States. It's not just that way for the quote-unquote mentally ill. Oh, he's got mental problems. I don't give a fuck if he's got mental problems. You're taking everything away from him is going to make it fucking worse. And not just for him. So knock your fucking shit off. We know what happens next. We've seen it with Zach Boatman and with many others. Well, now it's time for them, because they couldn't run him off, so these people didn't have to see him. Now what they're going to try to do, because people are scared of him because he's different, now they're going to have to see him in public a whole lot more. They're going to see him wandering around at night because he doesn't have a place to go. They'll probably lock him up for petty crimes or just straight up make stuff up. Lock him up and give him a lighter sentence just so they can let him out again, or they take him to a nuthatch and put him there for a 72-hour hold. Might not even last 72 hours. They might let him out after just 2 or 3 hours. And then everybody's like, man, why do they keep letting Dean out? He's fucking crazy. Everybody knows he's crazy. Are they just gonna keep on letting him out until he finally fucking goes really crazy and fucking kills somebody? If he was gonna fucking kill somebody, he'd have done it by now. He just wants to be left alone. He doesn't have a place for that. Just having that tag allows them to do those things. You say they're here to serve and protect. How the fuck did they serve the community with that one? Who the fuck did they protect with that one? Jesus Christ, this is a fucking no-brainer. What the hell is wrong with America? Telling me about the Constitution, about how it's the same for every... You fucking lying goddamn piece of shit. Don't fucking lie to me. Jesus fucking Christ, boy. It's one of them things that when you think like that, like you're thinking there, a lot of folks say, well, you know, their daddy ought to put them over their knee. Well, their daddy didn't put them over their knee. And maybe their daddy did worse than put them over their knee, and that's why they fucking think like that. But you gotta see, these guys know the routine. They've done this before. They know how to fucking play retarded. They knew exactly what the fuck they were doing. They knew the consequences of it from the very start. They were well aware of what they were depriving that man of, as well as the community of. And of course, parking all their shit over at Grace Sue's, it says customer parking only. You know why I don't park over there at Grace Sue's? Customer parking only. But you know what? When I get paid, I do try to go in there and buy at least a soda pop or some of their fucking delicious fried rice. Their fried rice is really good. Okay, it's good. It's really, really, really good. But yeah, I mean, I understand fully. My vehicle is nasty. It's ugly. My vehicle stinks. You know, we can see this is not something that any restaurant wants to have in their parking lot. And I understand that completely. That's why I'm over here. But I also try to maintain this parking lot as best I can, given my resources. Half of that bag that I got permission to throw away down there at, what was it? The Shell station. And I got permission from both the Shell station and from the Starbucks and from the person who was cleaning the parking lot down there, the one that was cleaning up the hotel parking lot. They all said that it was all right with me. None of them had a problem with it or an issue of it. Just don't make it a habit. Don't make it just this once, is what two of them told me. The one from the Shell station and the one from the hotel said just this once. And I was thankful for that, because this parking lot was stinky at the time. There's sometimes people throw out like burritos that are in like an aluminum foil wrapper, you know, like the ones you get from a roach coach. Sometimes those things are huge, and when you get done eating one, you know, you can't eat the whole thing. Or you set it down and you forget about it because you've been on the road for hours, or it's a hot fucking day, and even though you bought it this morning at, you know, 9:30 while it was still slightly cool, it is now 10:45 and you are roasting, and all you can think about is getting to the next place to get something to drink. I can drink out of the Hood River if I don't have any money. Dean can drink out of the Hood River if he doesn't have any money. People keep telling me not to drink out of the Hood River, it'll make me sick. I believe them. It's not that I don't believe them. So, You got pretty words like we got to do better. Do better now. This is a situation you can do something about. You're probably not going to. You probably don't care. There's got to be some place in Hood River where Dean can have something for himself without it getting took because he can't take care of himself. I'm not sure if you saw how skinny he is. Did he work construction his whole life? He probably did. He probably did. He probably pissed off a cop who took him to a fucking nuthatch, had him injected with Haldol and Ativan, and he never came back. Statistically, that's what happened, but not in his situation. I can't verify that with his situation. I can only verify the statistics of the likelihood. I mean, that right there, that was a no-brainer. Okay, that was an easy one. Anybody could look at those city guys putting up those signs and know they were going to yank Dean out of there. Natalie Bollinger, that was a no fucking brainer. That was an easy one. Anyone could have looked at her situation and gone, man, she's going to end up dead before she's 25. You guys just didn't want to fucking listen to the people who know this shit. The people who actually try to do the right fucking thing. Push these fucking cops to spend these taxpayer dollars the right way. It wouldn't have taken $5,000 to fix up his piece of shit. It wouldn't have cost $5,000 for him to have a designated area where he can park that. And we also got to consider they probably had a couple of backdoor meetings about the situation beforehand and a few conversations with city council members to figure out how to do it that way to magically justify what they fucking did. They know he's got nowhere else to go. They know he can't take care of himself. They already were aware that he was like that, okay? They're already aware that his ability to put those things together in his state of mind is not even close to functional. And when you got to go to a place like, well, the Center for Living, they're not caseworkers. They're not social workers in specific. They're supposed to have social workers. What you don't know is that nationwide social workers have been quitting their jobs in record numbers because they're tired of taking people's kids. They're tired of being targeted for other people's wrongdoing within their departments. They're tired of being afraid to do the right thing and mandated report because their coworkers are doing wrong. And they know they'll lose their job. They know that the rules are supposedly supposed to be set up so that the victims aren't victimized, but that the reality of it is all of the rules, all of the protocols just railroad and run over the most victimized people in the country. In Hood River, they don't have any social workers. The state troopers, you got to hear them, not their job to police the police. No, it's just their job to go victimize mentally disabled people out of their home. You guys want to talk about guardianship abuse? You know what? You can talk about all these rich people whose guardians took advantage of them, but look at Dean, somebody who doesn't have one. You want to pretend like this is okay. You want to pretend like we can just go off in the woods. You see how much shit I have to go through to do that? To even try? You're killing us because we don't drive a Mercedes and have a Prada backpack. You're killing us because we don't have the money for the newest jersey this year. You're mad at us because we don't look the way that you want your perfect society to look. You don't want the beards. You want only good-looking beardless men to exist. And they have to have money. Any man who doesn't have a bunch of money is a scrub. And any man who's got a bunch of money that won't spend it on you is an asshole. We get it. We get it. And then you pretend that every man who turned you down after you get fucking pissed off and go psycho on his ass, you pretend he's a stalker. You're fucking creepy as shit. A lot of these caseworkers, how many women in their lifetime of being caseworkers, how many women were turned into them and they simply had to look the other way because they knew that nobody's going to convict a woman. And then, of course, we got the 90s and people started to realize, yes, women are heavily involved in a lot of this. A lot of these male predators have female accomplices. In most of these situations, it is the female who's the dominant one in that relationship. They're able to manipulate men by doing the whole, well, if they try claiming that we're doing this, well, if they're trying to blame it on a female too, that's automatically going to remove credibility from the victim because nobody believes a woman would ever do that. So, of course, we've got female predators helping both female and male predators to get away. And they're using your bias to do it. We've been noticing recently that there is a massive influx of women being arrested for this stuff, especially in the schools. Say we gotta do better. That's not a fucking battle plan, dude. We gotta do better. Okay, that's like saying we gotta put our fingers in our noses. Well, actually, putting our fingers in our noses would be an actual action. Putting my finger up so that God and everybody can see it. This is what I think of the country I live in. This is what I think of every soldier who supports what happened this morning. This is what I think. This is what I think. A paladin is supposed to be a holy warrior in a foreign land without a weapon. Well, then you enter the philosopher and enter the politician. Well, technically, we did the right thing. Technically, the way that it says on paper. Technically, because we can buy this loophole. Reminds me of fucking Dr. Evil. That's supposed to be a comedy, isn't it? No, I cannot support soldiers. I can support veterans. I can absolutely support veterans, but not a soldier. Every one of you supposed veterans in Hood River, every one of you who wants to claim that you fought for these rights, well, then where are they? You failed. You failed miserably. You failed miserably to protect the Constitution. You failed miserably to protect the American people. You failed miserably in protecting the most victimized people in this country, and this morning you got to see it. The homeless and the disabled. What are the chances? They're pretty fucking good. The chances of that happening this morning were pretty fucking good. The chances of that happening were so good that I was able to predict that ahead of time. Why is that? Cause and effect, dumbass. You pay attention to what's going on around you, or you don't. You look into the situation, or you don't. All of you pass judgment. I mean, removal of judgment is not on the table. I'm aware of that. Removal of judgment is not on the table. You guys are going to blame whoever you want based on whatever your granddaddy told you instead of going and looking this shit up. I get it. Your granddad, you loved him, so he must have known better than everybody else. Just like, of course, you guys are into your movies. What was that guy's name? Bobby Boucher? Mama say, mama say, mama say. I don't care what your mama say. Look it up. Please, somebody help Dean. When you guys say, oh, well, you know, somebody needs to do something. Somebody needs to do something. Well, we need to call this place and we need to call that place. Well, those places, it's not their job. All of you here in Hood River, when you tell me or you tell anybody else, it's not your job. We got to go to these other places and other folks, and it's not their job. And no matter what, it's nobody's job. And you guys believe that it's somebody's job. When the cops, you fucking harass them to help, Dean, they come out here and pretend like they did this morning. This is bullshit. Even if they did offer to tow it and fix it before to somewhere new, where to and why didn't they fix it? We got to hear him loud and fucking clear. Yes, yes, fix it. Fuck the police. Fuck the government. Fuck pedophiles. It is my right to stand up to this. My First Amendment right and my Second Amendment right, and I don't need a permit for that. But you know what I use for a gun? I use this right here. It's the only tool I got. The only one capable of fighting this anyway. Don't get me wrong, I got a takedown bow in the back. And I could always assemble it if need be. If there's people who are hungry and I see myself a deer and, you know, we're fucking hungry, we're starving, yeah, that deer is getting dropped. I wouldn't recommend trying to take out a deer with only a 35-pound bow, but it's the only one that I could even come close to pulling all the way back, and I can't. I can't pull it all the way back. When it comes to getting an antelope or a rabbit, you know, an antelope, maybe if it's a little one, a rabbit, yeah. But Dean's not going to be able to do that for himself. Not without being taught how to do it. Not without the tools of the trade. And what's going to happen if Dean, especially now that he doesn't have his guitars, so he can't play guitar for money. Those were all in his camper, or all in his RV. You know, he doesn't have those tea candles I gave him. He doesn't have his blankets. He doesn't have anything. Everything that he had is gone. I hope it doesn't snow tonight, and you guys can laugh at how funny that is, but with the weather the way that it is right now, it's actually more likely that it would be hail. Then again, that's based on Nebraska's altitude and not the altitude here. Now, it's not likely to snow here, but you know what? In Boulder, Colorado, I stood on top of Rally Sport one 4th of July while it snowed. So, yeah, it's always a possibility. You should look it up, actually. When it snowed in Colorado on the 4th of July. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Oh. And Hopefully we'll be able to get something productive done. Hopefully we'll be able to help ourselves out, right? Isn't that our excuse for never doing anything for anyone else? What he needs is your voices. What he needs is for you guys, not just with your voices, but also, and I'm not going to tell you that voting works because it don't, but you can try voting. The reality of it is they're afraid of the same thing that they pretend like they're trying to stop for our protection. Lynch mobs. That's right. All of these politicians are afraid of lynch mobs. They're afraid of gun-toting, meat-eating Americans like you wouldn't believe. But guess what? There are also gun-toting vegan Americans as well, fighting for the same rights. There are also meat-eating people who don't carry guns and have no interest in carrying guns that are still fighting the same fight. The problem is when everybody is fighting just their fight, we all lose. They already won. It's divide and conquer. Dean obviously cannot take care of himself. Obviously, they intentionally misrepresented the situation this morning, and all of them tried to get a cut. And now, each one of these people gets to use Dean as their statistics for the money that they had to spend because of the homeless and mentally ill. They get to use those statistics to pretend Dean is some crazy guy who's shoot up a fucking school. Oh, well, he might. We don't know. We don't know. He might. He might be mentally ill. We don't know. Sorry, that was a very mean Donald Trump impression, wasn't it? These guys are fucking doing, though. I mean, Christ, how many people this morning? There were at least 10 people involved in the situation that were all collecting cash this morning. At least 10 different people who were collecting money for that. And that's also the fact that each one of those people had something else to do involving that situation afterwards. Where did the tow truck people take it? Are they going to fix it? That officer did offer it this morning in front of me, but did they even try that? No. They just towed it. And they towed it to the next town over. He's on foot, so now he's got to get to the next town over in order to get his vehicle, and he's got to have the money to bail it out. And, of course, there is extortion. They're taking advantage of an at-risk fucking adult, and god damn it, they did it on camera in front of all of you assholes. Fucking useless pieces of shit. Yeah, your idea is what? Internment camps? Concentration camps? Certainly not reservations. We can't give up any of that land, right? We can't be making reservations for homeless people because then homeless people will go there. They will flourish. They will take care of each other. And they will make your society look like a fucking sham. And of course, you can't be shoving us on the native reservations because, well, that's not your land to shove us onto. Move along, move along, move along. That's all you want. You don't want to see us no matter where we go. It doesn't matter if it's Marcia Estrada, Megan Misigatis, the Boulder Police Department, Dual County Police Department, or Hood River. It doesn't fucking matter. It's move along, move along, move along. Move along. They want to talk about how they don't have the funding for it. Well, you know, we can see this morning how much money they fucking wasted just in one goddamn day. Why don't they have the funding? I wonder why they don't have the funding. Where's the funding? I wonder why they don't have the funding for battered women's shelters. Wait. We got to change the name of them, right? They're not battered women's shelters now. What are we supposed to call them now? We don't get to call them anything. They no longer fucking exist. They were safe houses in the late 80s and part of the early 90s. In the 90s, we had to go politically correct because the sheriff's departments were going to take them over. So they became battered women's shelters. Nobody knew what they were really supposed to be called. What was the technical jargon for them at the time during that? It's a battered women's shelter. When the sheriff's departments took over those safe houses were no longer safe. Now, if a victim was married to a sheriff's department or a police officer, something like that, she's got to go to his buddies to ask for help. The sheriff's departments, well, they did a lot of fucked up shit. There's a few beatings that happened back in the 90s that were pretty decent profile cases, and it established that police officers can be held responsible for those deaths if they're negligent, if they didn't do their jobs, if they did not respond. And repeatedly, with the situation between me and Natalie Bollinger, police did not respond. And since repeatedly they did not respond. Or when they do respond, they respond in ways like they did up here. If he has a freak out in town, obviously when he was yelling at his wall, he wasn't going to go out and hurt anybody. He was fucking frustrated as all hell. They knew exactly what they were doing, and like always, they're fleecing your money for doing that. They're going to tell you about how between all these law enforcement agencies, blah, 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 they're going to pretend like this was three different instances because they have one incident written down by the state troopers. They got one incident that was from the sheriff's department, and they got one incident that is from the police department. So they got three different instances there. They get to all pretend we're all homeless people that are all Dean, and they get to use that against all of us. You fucking pricks. Anyway, it's good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper. If you ain't, you don't deserve shit. No victim left behind.